Thank you everyone for joining in. I'll just kick off this call. So we at Core Product Service will be presenting today. And to begin with, these are the product areas we'll be capturing. So we are calendar, we have workflow, and under CRM, we'll be talking about contacts, opportunities, conversations, integrations, and marketplace. So with that, Abhishek.
Thank you, Sid. Hey, everyone. Hope everybody is doing great. My name is Abhishek, and I would be presenting the calendar slides. So let's take a look at what all went live for calendars in the previous quarter, starting with the new calendar creation flow. Now, this is basically we enhanced and revamped the entire calendar creation flow in the ask of increasing the overall user experience and also making it simple and easy for our users to create calendars. On the left, what you see is a quick setup wherein you just have to enter a couple of details and then press confirm, and then you have your calendar. We also have the advanced setting view, which you see on the right, where things are streamlined and are pretty much organized in a very sensible manner, which allows for anybody to go through each step and then configure the calendar in whatever settings they want. All right, so moving on to the next, we recently also went live with add guest ability, wherein in calendar settings one can enable the ability to add guest. What it does is on the right, what you see is basically there would be an option for the contacts or leads to when they're booking an appointment, they would be able to simply add guest by entering their name and email. There are a couple of things which we received as feedback. One was obviously, there have been many of our users who have asked for this ability to be added in the class booking, which does not exist anymore, but the team is already working on it. So we would have that soon, wherein guests could be added in the class booking as well. And it would then obviously, also factor in the total seat capacity and reduce from that depending on how many guests have been added. So that is already in the pipeline. The second thing which we are doing is not in every scenario, the contact or the person who is booking an appointment would have the information like guest email. So that is where we are also giving you an option in the settings wherein, you can now decide if you want to collect name and email depending on the use case, or you simply want the person who is booking the appointment to just enter a count. And in that case, it would just simply add the count of the total guests, and then it would work in the same way how it works for the name and email. The only difference would be, there are no name and emails. There would not be any contact creation in the CRM, but beyond that, for appointments, it would work seamlessly.
Does the guest have to be a contact already in the system?
Not really. It can be a new contact, and then but then once they are added, they then are created or become a contact in the CRM.
Great, thanks.
All right. Next was the ability to select staff. Now, this is specifically for round robin calendars, and one of the use cases which was very prominent here was services, wherein a customer who is booking an appointment would like to see or book with a selective or a specific staff. So this is what we have, where you can again customize this in a round robin calendar, enable it, and if you enable it, you would see that on the booking widget, wherein whoever is booking the appointment would be able to select the staff from the drop down which you see on the right, and then book an appointment with them. All right, so logo on the calendar widget. Yes, again, this was released last quarter, wherein we have now given the ability to update and add a logo. There are two options. It would either be in a square shape, or you can choose it to be circular. But then again, you simply upload a file for that particular calendar, and it appears on the widget how it's shown on the right. It just makes the calendars a bit more authentic and more trustworthy for the contacts to book. Thereby increasing the chances of conversion and appointments there. All right, this one was one of the biggest features which we were able to go live with, and which was collective booking. What it does is basically it allows group gatherings within the team or members, wherein you can select multiple team members from your team and create a collective calendar, wherein if somebody books, they would be able to book across all the team members, and all the team members would be then notified and booked in the same appointment. Typical use case would be a sales call with a support rep or an engineer for a troubleshooting call. Multiple scenarios here. So yeah, this is one of the recent ones which we have. Now let's take a look at what we have planned for Q3, starting with the ability to add pre-buffer time. So there have been a lot of feedback, and also I've been going through the ideas board where, many of the customers, they also, mention that, it is a bit confusing to only have post buffer, and it sometimes, create more confusion than solves the problem. So we are introducing the pre-buffer time as well, wherein, you can just add a pre-buffer to an appointment and also post buffer. So let's say 15 minutes prior to the appointment and 15 minutes after the appointment with a 30 minutes appointment, that would simply book a 1 hour slot with 15 minutes buffer before the appointment and 15 minutes buffer after the appointment. So this would streamline a lot of things and hopefully eradicate a lot of confusion, which is now right now there because of the only post buffer option. All right, so this is the services page menu. We are bringing in a new feature, which is targeted more for, services page, wherein we would allow people to customize and create a services page menu, something like what you see here. These are the initial designs which we have. There might be slight modifications, but this is basically more or less what we have. It would allow users to be able to scan through multiple services, as you can see on the left, with different, segmentations like hair, nail, skin. So it can be, catered for home services or for any other thing. And then, it's a step-by-step procedure where, a user, whoever wants to book an appointment, can select a particular service. Then, they can select a staff, and then, based on that, they would be able to book an appointment. All right, so with that in place, we've also had many requests on the ability to add room and equipment. So this is what we have. What you see here is not really the final design, but only the mere wireframes, which we have as of now. But this essentially would allow you to create a room and then, set availability of that room. And then you can also associate that particular room to multiple calendars. What would happen is when somebody is trying to book that calendar or an appointment on that calendar, it would check staff's availability, the overall calendar's availability, and then also the room's availability. And based on that, whenever somebody books an appointment, the room automatically gets booked, similar to how a staff gets booked in the appointment. So this again, is something which has been asked by many of you. So this is
And
again,
is this going to work with recurring appointments?
yes.
Like when you first put it out, it's going to actually work with recurring.
Well, we haven't really phased out planned, how we would want to phase out. We generally try to launch new features with recurring because recurring has more complexity as compared to other use cases, but we definitely have scoped it for recurring as well. So it may not be the first iteration, but it would definitely be there iteratively.
Great. This is exactly what I need for multiple clients. So this is wonderful. Thank you.
So when you say rooms, you mean like Zoom rooms? Is that what you're referring to?
No,
So,
like how
physical
Microsoft Outlook works.
It could be a physical space. For example, in case of a massage therapy, let's say you have spa room 1, spa room 2, or let's say, in case of beauty and wellness, you can have a room which has, let's say, a hydrofacial machine. So that room, and then you can associate that with multiple calendars. And when somebody books it, so it automatically books that physical room with it.
Gotcha.
In
gotcha.
Outlook, it's called a resource.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so we are actually moving in that direction. So the room is the first resource, and soon we are going to have equipment. So not only the calendar, not only will it check the time slot availability, but also like if you have some equipment which is necessary with that service, it will check that. But I mean, all of that would come in due time.
Got it.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right, and this is again, one of the top voted items on the ideas board, wherein we wanted the ability to see multiple calendars in the same view, something like how Google does it, and we are bringing this in, wherein as you can see in the screenshot which we have from the designs, you can select from users, you can select from groups, you can select from different calendars, and they would appear in this color parallelly, and that essentially allows anybody to have a holistic view of across multiple users or calendars, and then enables them to book smartly with this. And last but definitely not the least, so Google Organic Booking Integration, which is nothing but, let's say you have a GMB account and you are integrated with it. What it would simply does is if somebody searches for a service and it appears on the right, what you see is there would be a book online button. And if somebody clicks on that, they would be directed to the booking page or the booking widget, which is hosted by, let's say, you guys. And from there on, you can be essentially, what it does, it brings you the organic traffic from Google itself. allowing you to have, more customers, organic customers. And this is free of cost, by the way, no extra charges for this, at least from the Google side. And they directly land on the booking widget, and then they can simply book an appointment with you. So this is also in the pipeline. All right, that's it from calendars. I'll now
Abhishek,
also...
I have a question about custom appointments. The default is stuck at 30 minutes for custom meetings. Could we get that changed to being customizable in the calendar settings? I have to do that every single time, and I end up doing a lot of custom appointments.
Sure, Tim. I'll take a note of that, and we'll try to get that out.
Do I need to put it on the ideas board that nobody ever looks at?
I
No,
think this,
Tim, no, let me jump in. So, Tim,
So
anything
that you can't
gets-
let that go unpassed. Yeah.
Those are fighting words there, Tim. We're gonna, and we can prove that's absolutely
Yeah,
wrong.
like absolutely everything that we are working on is aligned with the ideas board.
Yeah.
And like we have 19 product managers, we have 22 product areas, everyone is keeping tabs on it.
Just
so I
because
just
you
wanted
have
to-
crappy ideas that no one else likes is not our fault.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I got just a quick thing I ran into. I don't know if this is a big deal for anybody, but I have my appointment set up where I have to have a certain amount of time. If somebody can't book like 3 p.m. to get me at 5 o'clock, right? I have it. You have to have a certain period of time. Like tomorrow, you can book me. Is there a way to, instead of me going in there and like if I want to force somebody in, instead of me having to go in and change the time and then say, okay, you can book it now, is there a way maybe we can have some kind of an override or something where I can just open up a slot that's normally not available just for that emergency appointment or that one-time thing?
And that's what manual bookings are for. So let's say you are on phone with a client and the client is like, hey, I can't wait until one day later to see you because your calendar does not show me appointments. I mean, you can just book them in yourself. You can book them in on the mobile app. So that functionality was given from this perspective. But if you're looking to hand out links that override the usual behavior, I'm actually not sure if any other booking platform does that. If they do, please record a Loom, show it to us so that we can think of a
They don't.
behavior like that. Yeah. I don't think anybody does it.
You can, Glenn, you can just manually boom, do it.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got something on the ideas board that I did a Loom for, I can't remember if it's Calendly or Acuity, that does that exact thing, that will allow you to open up a spot, but not change all the hours. And I actually did a Loom and it's on the ideas board.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I see what you're talking about. So basically you click on the slot and you generate a link just for that slot. Okay. Yeah.
Because
Actually,
Go ahead,
no,
Glenn.
it just will allow you to open it up for somebody's got a webinar for 3 weeks and they're wanting extra slots, just that for those 3 weeks, they can drag it down and it'll open it up and then it will just.
Or typically my help support appointments require a 12-hour minimum scheduling notice, but this person, I want to get on with them within the next couple hours. So for them specifically, I want to override that 12-hour minimum scheduling notice. I want to allow them to book as soon as possible or within a certain time. So like almost being able to send them a link and toggle on like ignore the minimum scheduling requirement or set a custom one for that.
Got it.
yes.
And
Kind of
Calendly,
like a magic link where they can just override everything.
Yeah, like you're a
Got it.
VIP, you get to pick whenever because I'm
Right.
Okay.
special use case.
Right.
Right now it would be, hey, you send them to a calendar that is called special use case or whatever, and that has a minimum scheduling notice that's shorter, and you just send them to that calendar. But I think
That's what I do now too.
they're saying
Yeah.
here.
and Calendly does this.
I think a couple of,
I can't
do it.
remember which one it was, yeah.
Yeah, if
No,
you
I
have, if
can't-
you have
I
examples,
don't
send
think
it
so.
over.
I've got
Just give
it
us
on the
examples
ideas-
because
I've got
we
it on
just
the
want to
ideas
do-
board
got
she
it.
already did it on the ideas board.
with a
Awesome.
Loom.
Cool.
No. We're just saying, hey, can you post an example? Can you like that Loom that you have, just drop in the chat if it'll just.
Yeah, or your ideas
managers.
link, drop it in the chat so we can all vote for it.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
But we're more
Awesome.
concerned about a reference system, right? Because because that'll make our lives a lot easier. How does this work in the real world already with other systems?
But in the meanwhile, like as Shiva mentioned, right, we already have a way from the calendars view where you can override and book an appointment on the call. So I think, that still works. But yeah, we would love to see how the other systems are doing. And, with enough votes, we would be able to prioritize and plan that.
It seems like when you make the custom time on the mobile app, it doesn't send the notifications until I edit it after I've made it and then save it again. Then it sends it. So I think there's a glitch there.
If
when
true,
you
that's a
make
bug.
custom.
Then
Yeah.
if Neil Ashish is here, he should take note. Otherwise, file a ticket. But I don't want this to keep dragging out. So let's move on to workflows, and we'll go into Q&A at the end. You can ask anything you want.
Over to you, Suresh.
Thanks for the amazing calendar updates, Abhishek. Hello, everyone. Suresh here with workflow updates. We started the quarter with a new trigger and multiple actions for affiliate management to support all the actions related to affiliate management, followed by a datetime formatter, a premium action to convert a date format or a datetime format or even compare dates. Here you can onboard any incoming data that can be from inbound webhook or any existing internal data or order form data, which you can convert into a specific format that can be taken to a Google Sheet or even to any other endpoint. So this one stands alone. Unlike our math operation, this is independent. And followed by it, we have a number formatter. This also, like, you can convert a text into a number, a phone number, or format a number in a specific format, a currency formatter, or even generate a random number between a set range. You can even set up a million difference so that it can be a unique number when you're trying to onboard or put the lead data into a Google Sheet like that. So this helps over that. Followed by it, a new trigger, a payment receipt trigger. We have order form triggers, which refers to the particularly only to the order. This particular thing refers to any payment received in our platform. It can be from a funnel, website, invoices, or calendars. It carries additional information like source of the payment and other payment related details. So this trigger, you can handle all the payment information using the trigger. Followed by it, we created a specific action based on customers ask, custom value update action. So you can update a custom value from within the workflow, like based on if else condition, you can just update a custom value. So on the next cycle, again, it takes the latest and proceeds further just for the use cases. And followed by it, update to Facebook conversion API. We included lead event. Earlier, there were only funnel event. We also included lead event. Yeah. So the next update will be on the inbound webhook enhancement. So firstly, we supported only the post and only the payload data. And later we supported put and get methods also. Along with it, we are exposing the query parameters that comes along in the URL and also the header data. So all of it will be available in custom variable, which can be consumed in the workflow. Yeah, the next item will be time zone settings. By default, before this update, workflow purely works only on account time zone. That is a location time zone. We came across a lot of use cases and asked from customer that it should work based on the contact time zone. So we made it flexible. Now you can decide on the workflow settings whether it should respect the account time zone or the contact time zone. This restriction, it works for any wait step that is depending on a time or the time window executions. That is, if you want to send an email on 8 a.m. that respects the contact time zone. For a contact time zone morning 8 a.m. it will go out. So that is the update here. The next one will be a new goal event that is for appointment statuses, not just single status. You can select multiple statuses. If a contact satisfies any of the status, it will get pulled to the goal action. So that is the update over here. This is also an IDS board item. Yeah, followed by it, Google Sheet, multiple updates we did to Google Sheet. There was a lot of adoption towards Google Sheet. There are more use cases and usages. So we considered the feedbacks and we updated the Google Sheet with auto create a row if it doesn't exist already. When you're looking up for a row, a particular data in a Google Sheet, if it doesn't exist already, you can auto create it in the same action. Followed by it, the search order. There can be a duplicate item in the sheet. So whether the search order should be from bottom to top or top to bottom, you can decide on it. And case sensitive search. By default, it will not be case sensitive. If it is enabled, then it will look for case sensitive data match. So those updates are done in Google Sheet. Next, update contact field. So earlier we had a choice only to update contact field. We introduced clear field data. In this update, we are supporting only the custom fields. We are working on the next update, which will support the standard fields also. We are just finalizing which all standard fields that can be cleared, which all shouldn't be cleared, to ensure contact is not getting affected. So that update will be coming next. The next item will be UI updates. So what we did is we revamped the entire workflow UI to better the user experience, the table, followed by the settings. So next slide, please. Yep, the workflow settings. We also included the content and explanation in the settings so that it'll be easy for the users to understand the purpose of it. So we revamped it. Then we also relabeled and repositioned the enrollment history and execution logs, which will help the understanding and use it more. If you go to the next slide, Sid. So enrollment history is like list of all contacts enrolled in this workflow. And you can also see what is the current action the contact is sitting on. You can decide on even moving the contact to the next step, like forcing it to move to the next step. So such actions can be done from here itself, even without going to that particular wait step and then trying to move it to the next step. And execution logs, it's same, like for each contact, whatever the history of logs, we can see it over here. The next update is we created a new action. There is workflow AI with ChatGPT behind the screens with our backbone. So this is a premium action. It is like 3 cents per execution. And it is a prompt. So whatever we ask ChatGPT, we'll get a response there. So it's open prompt. We also included some example prompts there to support the users with some basic examples and use cases. So this is a new action we released. The next one will be save custom webhook response. So earlier our custom webhook will only send the data to an API configured here with the configured payload. Whatever response sent back from the API, we are not storing it or we are not using it in workflow. After this update, if you're enabling save response from the webhook, so you can save the sample response by testing using any contact. And the sample response structure using it will expose all the custom variables available from the response. So you can hit an endpoint, get the data, and you can update a custom field of a contact or standard field of a contact. So, or take it to a Google Sheet. You can do anything with the response data after the after this update, which is live now.
So,
yeah.
I have a question in regards to that. So I know I mentioned this to Sean already. So we're using custom webhooks and we're wanting to retrieve the ping
Already
ID.
put it in the dev channel. Move on.
Okay.
Okay. So moving forward, the upcoming releases, we know custom field is introduced in, yes, next slide, please. Yeah. So custom fields introduced an opportunity. So we are updating the existing action and trigger to support custom fields, which is in progress, which is in QA already. We can expect it sooner. Followed by it, we are planning to introduce new actions to support opportunities. Same side. Yeah. New actions to support the opportunity because the existing action has a lot of limitations in it. We are coming out with a new action to update any opportunity field or move a particular opportunity between across the pipelines based on the particular use case. And we are segregating the actions. And similarly, we are introducing new triggers, that is opportunity created. Whenever an opportunity is created, the trigger will get triggered and followed by opportunity changed. Any field data in opportunity, including the custom field, if it is getting changed, you can get a trigger and you can handle the data over there. So the next update is array functions. We are getting a lot of array data from Shopify, from our internal order form, and even from inbound webhook. Today, since workflow is not able to handle the array data, we are coming out with a function which can do all the complex functions for you. The array functions, like you can find a particular object with a matching key value from the array, or you can filter the array, let's say based on a product group, or you can do the math functions to calculate a sum or min value from the array using matching it to a particular key. Or you can even restructure the entire array to a custom format before taking it to another endpoint. So the line items is reconstructing the array by mapping a key value with a new key. Yep. So these are upcoming things. on array function. Followed by it from the ideas board, we have this task completed trigger. This one also a work in progress. We can expect it soon. So whenever task is completed, the trigger will get triggered. So we already have task created. We are now delivering this task completed trigger. So another big item, copy workflow to other location, a long waited and most highly voted item in the ideas board. This is also a work in progress. It's a very big item. So we are chunked it, we are working on it, and it is in progress. We definitely targeting for this quarter to come out with this feature. Followed by it, workflow builder upgrade. So to make workflow builder more user-friendly, we are making it, enhancing the entire library behind the screen. That is, you'll be able to zoom in, zoom out, or drag it to a position where you want to view. So we are revamping the entire library to make it more user-friendly. So that's an update on the workflow builder. Followed by it, workflow in Marketplace. So you'll be able to create your own custom triggers and actions in Marketplace now after this release. So instead of existing actions in workflow or using a custom webhook action, you can just go there, create your own custom action and configure it there. And it'll start to work on workflow. We'll show a slight preview of custom actions. Next slide, next slide. So what you can do is like, you can just create a set of fields. It can be like type string or select. The select fields can load options from your own endpoint, or it can have some constant options, or even it can be pointed to any of the internal modules in workflow that can be like calendar or contact or emails, email templates, like that internal modules in workflow. So you can configure a set of fields. When this action is getting executed, the data will be sent to the API configured in send data. So that will be your API. We'll be sending this data to your API. And based on the response you are sending, you can configure custom variables, which can use it back in the workflow. So the entire flow now, it can be your own custom action. So this is something already in QA in workflow. And the next thing we are eyeing on is custom triggers that also will be coming out soon. So these are the updates from workflow. Thank you. Any questions?
All right, who's up for CRM?
Cool. So
Don't ask for questions at the end. Ask for questions
Yep.
at the end of your thing. Ask for questions at the end.
yes, sir. Hey everyone, great to see you again after a quarter. So I look after the content and opportunities module, and we can start with the updates. So Sid, next slide. Cool. So in the last quarter, one of the biggest features we released for contacts was multiple phone numbers per contact. You can do two features. Number one, you can add contacts to a particular, you can add multiple phone numbers to a particular contact. Number two, you can label those contacts. We have 4 standard labels: home, work, mobile, and landline. And you can label different phone numbers for use while ever in transacting with those customers. We also allowed the bulk import and the bulk export of the additional phone number. So you can now bulk import them as well from other CRMs if you have them at HubSpot, Pipedrive, etc. And you can also export them to keep that information intact on your level. That's it. Next slide. The second biggest feature that we released for opportunities was custom fields for opportunities. You are able to create and manage custom fields and folders for opportunities. The folders, as you can see on the screen, come under the opportunity details. The more folders you keep creating, the more folders add in there. And the fields that you add to those folders are added right beside them. And Stephanie, just to reply to your question, the workflow updates will be coming in, which Suresh has previously mentioned. And for the upcoming quarter or this quarter, we have the item of custom fields filter. So the way you have filters for custom fields in SmartList, you will have same filters for all the custom fields that you create in your opportunity filter. Yes, it. Moving on. Is it?
Is it not changed? Yeah.
Yeah, it just changed now. The third feature that we released was search option for tags, wherein clients with having a lot of tags were having a big issue filtering them in SmartList. We added a search filter so that you're able to now search your tags, get them matched, and filter much more quickly. Cool. So upcoming releases, which will be released within this month. That's the month of August. Sid, moving on. Folders for custom values. So you will be able to create and manage folders for your custom values and have those folders visible in the places that you use your custom values. The second one is additional filters in smart list. So additional phone, additional email, valid, invalid email, DND channels, last activity, country, were a few of the filters that were not available in smart list and were also not available in columns for export as well. So we have allowed all of these fields to be visible in smart list filters. You should actually see the release coming out either today or tomorrow. We are on the last, I'll say, leg of it, and you'll be able to now filter and see them in columns and also export all of the fields that were previously missed. The third one is global unique identifier, which is currently in a private beta, wherein as of now, GHL honors email first and then phone while choosing duplicates for your CRM. Now we will allow the customers to set it for any location. They can set it either email or phone or continue with the default email and phone that they currently see. Yes. So the biggest feature that you'll see by the end of this quarter for SmartList is you will now have the option to add OR filters in SmartList. This is the final design that has already gone into development. So your current filters that you already have are sort of AND filters, and they will form the first block from day one itself. And you will have this OR button that you see plus OR to add all filters for those blocks or change your filters however you want to. So your internal will always contain ANDs, and then you can have OR within those AND block filters. Cool. The second thing is that we got from a lot of customers and from Canny was there are a lot of documents that get either received, sent, or added for a contact that get misplaced, that get in different places. So we decided to create a document section for the contact, wherein for that contact, all the files that you add to custom fields that they receive from forms that you want to send to them, you're able to manage in this document section. This document section is part of a larger goal of providing you a closed loop interaction, document exchange, let's say, channel with the customers. This will link in with the client portal, which will have the send side interface of this document section for your contacts or clients to actually log in and view the documents that you're able to share with them from the document section. Yeah. Other upcoming releases for this quarter is company notes, wherein you will be able to see all the notes of the contacts that are linked to a company in the company section, multiple owners for a contact and opportunity. So this is in fact broken down into two pieces. The first option is having different owner for an opportunity and for a contact. And the second one is having more owners for a contact and opportunity that have access to that particular object and are able to interact and use it. Identify and merge duplicates. So a place for you to identify all the duplicates that are currently there in your CRM, club together for you to merge them within single clicks. Custom field filter for opportunities, which I just talked with the custom field slide, and daily summary reminders for tasks. So for an agency user admin, location user admin, location users, tasks that they are currently pending, have them send out reminders on their emails. This is still in the addition phase, but yeah, you'll see that come out within this quarter. Yeah, I think that was it from my end, and over to Samida for conversations.
And can I quick follow-up question? Two things you just went over real quickly. You said in the contact record, you can change the index looking for duplicates to either be phone or email address, right? Okay, so is there any other option, or are those going to be the only options?
Those are going to be the only options. For now, the default is email first and phone second. We are just providing the option to have just email, just phone, or have phone first and email second, depending on what the use case for your client would be.
Okay, and then if you have two phone numbers, you have a business work phone and a cell phone, how do you choose the hierarchy then in that scenario?
So in multiple phone numbers, we still have the primary tag. So every contact needs to have one primary phone number, and that primary phone number will be used for all other interactions. The other phone numbers are added as additional and available for that contact, but the contact can only have one primary phone number, the way it has a primary email ID as well.
Okay, and just one other follow-up, and I'll promise we'll move on. So company notes you mentioned again as you just before you moved on here. So is that basically just a field where we can dump information about the company, or are you actually pulling it from the multiple contact records that are associated with the company? Because when we're selling B2B, we're selling to 2 or 3 people. And it would be great if all those notes from those individual conversations could all be rolled up into one area.
Yes, Glenn. So it is exactly like you mentioned, the latter part, wherein we already have the tasks. So if you have 5 contacts linked to a company, you can see all the tasks together. Notes is something you would have seen as coming soon for a very long time, but It essentially means taking all the notes of the contacts and having them in the time view that they were added to those contacts.
Excellent. Thank you.
I have a couple of quick follow-ups about the CRM. One is right now it always defaults to 20 records in the contacts view. And if we change it to some other number, that change is lost. It's not sticky. Will we gain the ability sometime soon, hopefully, to change the default and or have it at least be sticky from one session to the next?
Yeah, I think
so-
thanks for this. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think over there, the simplest solution is to basically save the configuration of the smart list per user and just remember it. So as the users are moving between pages and logging out, logging in, whatever they're doing, we show the same view that they left on. It is an item on our list, but
I think the easier one here, right, is store it local to that current browser session, and that's good enough because most people don't mind changing it every time. So just store it in local storage or cache or something. It should be a really quick item.
I like it.
Run it down.
One other quick question: exporting and filtering on, well, exporting anyway. Website addresses.
Yes, Tim. That you will see by today or tomorrow going live for you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Just on the contacts, I see that I've bulk uploaded contacts and managed to assign users to those contacts. I was told that that's not possible. Is that a functionality that exists now in the platform?
So you want to bulk upload contacts and assign all of them to the same user?
To multiple users. So in other words, to turn on the assign data function only, so that a particular user only sees contacts related to them.
I guess while we're moving on, right? Sorry to interrupt, but while we're moving to the next person, Puru, run this down. I'm almost certain what he's asking for exists. I think the way it does today is you create a column on the spreadsheet, you put in the name of the user exactly as it appears in high level. And I'm pretty sure we find and map that user when the bulk upload happens, but maybe run that down to see if that functionality still exists.
Actually,
but hold on, that's not supported in the UI.
Which we should check. And maybe it got dropped at some point, but it was a function that.
But it should work. I mean, that function, when we build it or how we build it, that should be a thing, because I know that multiple visibility makes it, and that would be a huge.
No, it makes total sense, and I'm almost confident we had this. So if it isn't there today, it means we've lost it, and we should bring it back.
No, so it is there. In fact, I managed to upload about 5,000 contacts and assign them automatically to users based on, a CSV file. And I was actually surprised that it was assigned because I was told it can't be done. But I'm happy that it's there. So if you can just confirm that.
We just need to update the UI then. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'll run this down. I think I've shared my email with you, Dikshan. I'll sync up with you.
Yeah. Awesome. Great stuff.
Yeah, and Puru, if you get it, if that does work or it does go live, please put it in the release notes.
Yes, Sean.
And one more CRM thing. Do you guys have any plan?
Although we're starting to get really overrun with questions here. Can we just chill until the end? Because I want everyone to be able to get through their presentations.
Sure.
All right, thanks.
Hey everyone, I'm Samita and I'll walk you through the conversations module and the updates we have conversations. So what went live? First feature is create a new message. So inside conversations itself, we can now create a new message of the type SMS and email and be able to send to our existing customers. We can also search for the customers through name, phone number, or email ID. Alternatively, if we want to create a new contact and send them a conversations from the conversation page itself, we can do that as well by entering the contact number or email ID and then following the steps. So this is on the create new message. The second update I have is on new message composer. So our updated UI, we have introduced a streamlined composer that supports all message channels, email, SMS, custom conversation provider. And we have provided tools that makes it more efficient to write messages. For example, the formatting tool that we see at the below. So this is related to the changes of new message composer. Now moving ahead. So the third update is CC BCC for outbound emails as well. So we have added CC and BCC changes. In both the fields, we can either add an existing contact that might exist in the location, or we could alternatively type out a new email ID. The only condition being it has to be a valid one, and that can be added in the CC or BCC field, and we can then send out the message. The same details will be recorded in the email as well, that who are the additional recipients we are sending it out to. This would also go hand in hand with the two-way sync updates that we have. So just moving on to the next slide. Next update that we have is enhancements on the two-way sync for Gmail. So with this update, we can now sync all kind of communication, inbound and inbound, with contacts that are sent from a Gmail account. This will be synced back into high-level account as well. Now, this gets synced only for contacts. For existing contacts, all communication sent, received will be synced. For new contacts, if we want to bring them into high level without having an additional step and directly while we're sending an email from Gmail, we can go to My Profile. In here, we can find this auto BCC sync address that we can include in CC or BCC field while sending an email from Gmail. And this contact will be created, as well as all the conversation will now follow up under the same inbox in GHL. So this makes this helpful. This will help all the users to keep GHL as their primary inbox, hence not switching over different platforms. So this is the update on two-way sync for Gmail. I'll just walk through the upcoming releases for Q3. The first one that we're trying to solve is making emails, making the conversation panel more readable, making it more user-friendly. First thing we're trying to improve is the emails part. Now, we're trying to follow how other email providers work, so that all the emails that we get, whether it's a thread, whether it's a single email with attachment, all of them appear in a collapsed view. That is the first second, or once clicking on it, the entire email thread opens with the latest one opening at the last. At the same time, introducing options for email opens, and these email opens will be only for the outbound ones, as well as options to reply or reply all to the email thread, depending on how many recipients we have. So this is on the update for making changes to emails and giving emails a new look. Moving on. Next thing that we have is adding activities in conversation panel. So there was an ask that let's make the conversation panel more interactive. Let's get real-time updates on a lot of activities that happen, so that users don't have to switch between multiple modals or look over for information at somewhere else. So we are starting to add a few of the activities, starting with appointments created, rescheduled, appointments cancelled, payments received, payment invoice sent. We have other cards as well. For example, an opportunity created or opportunity status changed, or a pipeline stage being changed from one stage to other. So these are the updates on activities that we'll have in the conversation panel. At the same time, we are introducing a filter to be able to filter all the messages related to a particular contact, either by the channel of communication, that could be all Facebook, Instagram, or by the activities. So in the filter that we see at the top right, we can filter whatever messages we want to see. And this will just make it easier for users to view and track everything at the same place. So this is updates on the activities in conversation. Moving on, we are introducing live chat. So currently, if we go to chat widget, we only have the option to have an SMS type of chat. But with this update, we should be able to facilitate a live chat between users and any website visitors that the chat widget might encounter. At this point, we'll get a notification in the conversation side that a website visitor has come to your page, is asking for these details. And whenever the user engages back, they will be able to type back, they will be able to chat, and they will also be able to send attachments. Maximum 10 MB. So this is the update on live chat currently. Now, moving ahead. So next, what we're trying to introduce is lead scoring. lead scoring becomes important to understand how our customers are currently behaving, what is their intent. To streamline all that, we will gauge the contact activity, where all are they engaging, what are all of the activities they are performing. And based on that, we can score them, we can give them scores, we can set up rules for that. Depending on that, we will get a cumulative score that will be reflected both at contacts page and at conversation page, and we'll be able to filter through that. So users can now decide which contacts or which contacts to engage first in a conversation that would result in a higher probability of them conversion. So this is the update on lead scoring. We're still working on it. Sid, can we go to the next slide? So one more enhancement I have on the conversations module, and that is the right panel enhancements. We are trying to upgrade the right panel so that all the actions can be, we can access multiple actions from the conversation page itself, starting from contact description, which is the one visible on the design. We can have, the functionality will be, we can have a contact picture, we can have all the channels, all the details related to the channel, we could have tags and active campaigns. And if we need to add something here, for example, lead scoring, we will add that. Moving on, we will have other options in the slim panel, which is basically a collapsible panel, giving more real estate to see conversations full-fledged. And if we switch between the different options are tasks, notes, appointments, opportunities. And when we have documents and payments, that as well. So we will be able to access everything from the same place, be able to see everything while conversating with the client, just so that we have coherence and we're able to track everything from just one place. So that is it for me. That's all the enhancements from conversations. Over to you, Sid.
Can I ask a follow-up on that section, or you want to wait?
Another 15 minutes max. 10 minutes max. Yeah.
Just a quick thing on the live chat. Is there a role if someone doesn't answer? Is there like a rollover to become an SMS chat at that point?
So we will give an option to basically all the locations that you can choose whether you want to just keep live chat or just keep the SMS chat. So both the options will be available depending on how it goes. And let's say you're on live chat and we're not able to reply at that time, we would be sending the contact form and collecting their contact details so that users can engage with them later on.
Okay.
And what should be the time limit for this? Like, what should be the default time limit? So we'll allow you to configure it. Like, you can say that if my agent does not respond in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, show them the contact form. But what should be the default? We think 2 minutes should be the default.
Is that a question?
Are we right? Are we wrong? Everyone, like, are we right? Are we wrong? What should be the default time limit?
Here, how about this? Put it in the chat. Shivam, don't open people up to be like,
okay.
Just say, hey, put it in the chat. We'll take a look at it. Thanks a lot, and move on.
Cool. So please put that in the chat. Moving on.
Great. Thanks, Amita, for the great update. We're covering the integrations in Marketplace. So to begin with, just a moment. Yep. So agency owner role, this is live. Basically, the first user who gets added to the agency account becomes the owner. Now, agency owner cannot be deleted, cannot be edited or demoted to any other role, but the ownership can be transferred by the agency owner to some other user. This is already live, and moving on from this. On the integration and platform enhancement side, we have made a lot of enhancements on the FB and the GMB side of things. So to begin with, on the Facebook, we have restricted to view and change page option to only admin. And this is the Facebook level admin, not the sub account level admin. So only they can now make these changes, because we got a lot of feedback from customers where it was open to everyone, and there were some feedbacks which were not going according to their way. So that's one. Secondly, the integrations flow improvements to make the connection more stable and reliable from the Facebook side of things. Now on the GMB, we have received a lot of feedback and customer support tickets where basically at the time of integration, user would get a error saying duplicate place ID found, which would basically block the integration. So we figured what the issue was, and now we have made an enhancement where at the time of integrating, if you find this error, we by default, we automatically delete that and the integration goes through. So that has dramatically improved the overall journey for the customer and also the tickets what we receive. And on the performance and the UI improvement side on the page, so we have made changes on the My Stuff page, on the My Profile page. Basically, the UI has changed, the performance has improved overall for the pages. And this is a continuous effort, and we are making a lot of changes in the other pages as well, using the GHL component library. Cool. Now on the marketplace, we have introduced something called the review process. So before, what used to happen was whenever a third-party developer is adding an application to the marketplace, which is public in nature, it would go live to all our customers without any review process. Now, what we have done is we have basically introduced a review flow and process for the developers. The review is done by our team, and we check and make sure that all the guidelines are met and the app is also secure, and it's also good to kind of make it open for our customers. So only when the review is done, it is kind of out to all our customers to view and install. So this is kind of makes the entire marketplace ecosystem more stable and secure overall. So this is the first one. The app versioning. So again, this we didn't have before, where if any updates are made to an app, the customer or the developer wouldn't see which version they're running on this. And with this, so we have introduced this where any changes made to the application, we'll also have a versioning system, so you can see which version are you on right now. And you can also see which versions are available. You can kind of change your application from the current version to the new version. From the customer point of view, it kind of helps you understand that some changes or updates have been made to the application, and you know that you're on the current version, you're using all the features it has to offer. So this is on the versioning part. Moving on from this. Now we have made it's a complete revamp of what we have done on the marketplace landing page, and the reason behind that is to kind of give everyone, when I say everyone, it's the developer side of community and the customer community, to give a vision of where the marketplace as a platform is headed. So kind of what you can expect marketplace to become in 6 months, 12 months down the line, what all products we're adding, what type of app you can expect, and what exactly this is going to become, right? So I would highly suggest and request everyone to go and check this out. This is again Go High Level, marketplace.gohighlevel.com. Please look into this, see how what all the marketplace has to offer and what we have in the roadmap. So this is on the marketplace one. Moving on from this. Now, this is all the releases what we had earlier. Now touching upon the upcoming ones. To begin with, App Marketplace beyond install app seamlessly. Now this will be happening at the agency level and at the sub-account level. Basically what this will do is all the marketplace apps will be available for the sub-account level and the agency level to view and install within the platform. Right now, as of today, what happens is you have to go to gohighlevel.marketplace.com and install the application from there. So we are basically bringing all of that inside the platform. You can view the applications, you can use filters to kind of see if you want an app which is a marketing related, which is a sales related. And this is done from the developer side of things. So you will have list of filters, list of categories, which is paid, which is free. And you can click on an app, understand what the app has to offer and install and go about it. So this is in progress and this should be available by the end of this quarter. Again, agency and sub-account both. As mentioned above, again, on the marketplace side, we'll be adding different new products and the kind of apps developers can build. Suresh already talked about the custom actions and the trigger side of things. So that's actions is almost there, should be live any moment. Triggers is queue for this quarter. Apart from that, we have custom app pages where basically developers can have another page added to the application to maybe showcase the settings or showcase any other features they would like to add for the application. The accounts who are installing this application will also see this page and the features which comes with it. So that's on that. And app pricing and rebilling. So again, developers can set up app pricing plans for their application, whether it's one-time payment, recurring payment, and from the customer side of things, you can install these applications and pay within the platform. So you don't have to go anywhere else and make the platform. You can pay from the platform itself and utilize the application. And from the agency side, we will also introduce rebilling of the application. So if an app is valued at X, you can set up your own markup and make profit out of it. So this both will be live by this quarter. Great. Second, moving on, this is on the granular options, highly requested, highly voted on Canny. We've talked about this before as well. So basically providing granular permission access at the sub account level and the agency level. So we're introducing a new set of permissions for agencies as well. And on the sub account level, we have broken down the modules and features to granular level where you can actually customize and set permissions for your users. With that, we are also adding new features. One is the ability to set permissions at the object level. Now, what I mean by that is in today's time, if you add a user and say only assigned data is assigned to them, basically that permission feature, that gets applied to everything, whether it's opportunities, contacts, conversations, everything, right? With this, you'll be able to customize that. So you can add a user saying he or she can have access to opportunities for all records. But for conversations, they will only see conversations which are assigned to them. So you can make those changes. You can set permissions at the object level and kind of have those customizations in place. So that's one. The second one, we have spoken to a lot of users and all they say is, hey, we are adding 5 to 10 users every day. And we have to repeat this process again and again. It's time consuming, it's not efficient. How do I make it easier to kind of add user and also give them permission? So we are coming up with the feature of replicating permission or duplicate permission. So basically you add a user, and whenever you add the next user, the second or the fourth user, if you want to duplicate any of the existing users' permission, you can just click on that, select the user who you want to copy it from, and go about it. So it will just take you 2 steps to set granular permission for any of your user going forward once it's live. So that's on the sub account level. Now moving forward. On the agency side, apart from the granularity of the permissions, what we're also adding is the ability to restrict access to certain sub-accounts for agency admins. So again, a lot of feedback we have received where agency admin have access to all the sub-accounts, but they wanted them to have access to only particular sub-accounts and not have all the sub-accounts. So whenever you're adding an agency admin, you can basically add the list of sub-accounts there, and they will have access to only those set of sub-accounts and not able to see all the sub-accounts in the agency. So that's an additional one on the agency side. Moving forward. On the integration side, we are working on and will be live with LinkedIn ads integration. Similar like Facebook, your lead ads, you can map the form fills in the platform and all the contacts or the leads getting generated at the LinkedIn level will start appearing at the CRM level as well. On the Facebook side, we'll be allowing the multiple pages per account. Again, highly voted, highly requested that we want to add multiple pages to one sub account. Right now, we are adding or creating multiple sub accounts just to cater to this particular use case. So this will solve that. Basically, you can have 5, 10, however many Facebook pages you have access to can add to a sub account. Similarly, for GMB, you can again add multiple pages to a sub account. And apart from that, on the GMB side, we are also going to be giving the access to manage the GMB settings natively. One of the highly requested idea is, how do I change the picture on the chat widget of the GMB? Now, starting with that, you will be able to change the chat picture based on your business logo or whatever you want. And also you can make the other setting changes in the platform itself, whether it's adding product or updating your services. Everything will be available at the platform level and you don't have to switch and go to GMB settings to make those changes. Yep, so that's about it. That's all from our side. Thank you so much.
All right, Nico, let's lead us off with the questions. How do you want to do it?
Yeah, let's jump right in. Guys, if you have any questions, just start loading them into the chat and we're going to go through as many as we can with the remaining of the time. So please, we do have, I think, one question to start off with, and it's, I have created a custom gateway to send SMS. When sending eternal notifications to users, testing SMS in workflow and sending review requests in GHL is still using Twilio in the gateway. This is happening with all of the sub accounts. Taquir, are you here?
Yeah, so I think the custom, when you add a custom channel, so how did you add it? Did you add it by creating a new communication channel on the marketplace, or have you done any other kind of integration?
Mr. Anil, if you're here, you can jump in. But yeah, I've created like a new, it is using marketplace itself.
Got it. Okay. I mean, this is something that the integrations team can check. We can guess what happened over here, but I mean, we
Yeah,
won't be
I
able
would
to
just throw out
provide
a
an
contact in the,
Yeah.
I'd throw out a contact in the chat and take this offline.
Cool.
I've just added, send my email ID. Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Next question we have is from Stephanie. Will we be able to star convos via the edit conversation action and workflows with this? And this is probably about an update that we were talking about earlier.
Kind of. I can explain it more. There in the conversations area, you know how you can read, unread, and there's the starred option of like important. In workflows, there's no way to mark when you use the edit conversation action, you can mark it as read or unread automatically or archived. There's no starred option. If there was a way to have that star option, that would be super great. I was chatting with somebody yesterday about it. I was like, oh wait, yeah, there isn't one there, huh? So
Awesome. So Suresh can take a note of it. And
Yeah,
I think
noted.
conversations have 4 status. We should support all 4. Cool.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Stephanie. Next one's from Paul. Update on Yext for Canada.
Is Reshma here? No. Okay. I'll take that. So Yext for Canada is probably going to be live somewhere around the end of next month. And again, I'm taking some buffer over there. Hopefully, you know, it'll be sooner than that. But yes, it is in the works. I have seen a demo and it seems to be working fine. So yeah, very soon.
Beautiful. Next one is from James Hurst. Can we create new custom values with an empty value? Currently, a value is required when using the UI.
But I don't see why not. So
Yeah.
maybe just put that down, Puru. And
Yeah, I'll
that's
do
it.
this on my mind.
So you'll create a blank custom value and then just wait for the workflow to execute and update it from there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wonderful. Next one we have is Franco. Triggers to actions that happen from the workflow dialer.
Yeah, so specifically in the workflows, when we activate a call, right, it dials that user's phone and then that user needs to answer and then it calls the lead. If that user doesn't answer, there's no trigger that can happen when it quote unquote fails. So if it fails, the idea is to assign to another user, dial that user so that it can go from, you know, different callers until somebody answers. Or if it fails, for instance, go to a manual action or initiate a
That makes
message or
sense.
something.
I think Suresh, you should run this down with the workflow team. The idea here is the status after the call. We just allow that to be used in the workflow so they can see what happened on the call. And if it wasn't answered, they can maybe assign it to another person and dial again.
Yeah,
Right,
got
but
it, Varun.
that'll happen
Perfect.
only if the user connects. So if it connects to a
Okay.
user and then it dials out to the lead, but if it never connects to the user, there's no way to make an action from that failed
Okay.
status.
No, that makes sense. I was just talking to Suresh on the internal team, but we will run that down. We can make sure that we add in a status so you can run that down in the workflow.
Got it. And then from that same workflow call, will that be calling into the mobile app or the desktop soon? Because right now it still dials into their personal phone.
That's a
meaning
good
like
one.
International.
Shubham, you should probably send this to Shubham, and along with the contact assignment, this is the other one that they can run down.
Okay.
Oh,
Thanks,
no,
Franco.
that was again to the internal team. Shivam, are you around?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, got it. So let's say the workflow is dialing out to a user.
Yeah, I got that. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers. Next
you.
one is from Jesse. What's the timeline on the ability to share workflows with other locations?
Well, we saw that on the call today, so it is this quarter, and most likely much before the end of the quarter.
Awesome. Thanks, Varun. D. Roger has another question. When will dedicated IPs be available through Lead Connector?
Yeah, so is Karthikeyan here? No, okay. I can take that. Very soon. I have seen this. So this is on the list of items that we'll be working for Level Up. So definitely before that. And I think the cost is going to be something like $60 per IP. So that much I know. So yes, it's in development as we speak.
Awesome. Thanks, Shivam. Tim has a question. ETA for ability to add photos to contact records after contacts have been added to GHL.
I can run this down and share an update.
Great, thanks.
Beautiful. Paul Reed has a question. Any plans to have a research for trigger links in the email builder similar to the search for tags in smart lists?
On that, or we've got like 50, 60 trigger links in our account, and they're in no particular order, so it can be really tricky to try and find the one you're looking for. Even if it was sorted in alphabetical order, that'd be better, but a search would be perfect.
Yeah. So we'll just send it to the email team.
Yeah. No, so they're already working on this. So across the platform, we have different ways that the custom fields and all of those options show up. The custom fields, custom values, trigger links, all of the merge tags. So we're unifying that to a singular component, which has search functionality and which has navigation, better navigation. And across the entire app, it will get swapped out. So before the end of the quarter, you should see it apply everywhere. Today, it's live on the conversations page and I think the contacts page, but it will be live everywhere in the app before the end of the quarter.
Perfect. Thanks, Baru.
John Franklin has another question. Update and managing Yext for clients within Go High Level.
So basically, you want your clients to manage Yext themselves.
Correct. I know it was talked about.
It's on the list, but we just want to, so we want to support Yext in Canada. We want to support Yext in Australia. And then once both of those are done, after that, we want to basically improve our reviews integration with Yext. So that you can start collecting and responding to reviews from Yext. That's going to happen. And after that, this item is slotted in. So it is a relatively heavy item. Like we'll have to build all the capabilities in Yext on our side. You know, like all the features will have to be supported. But yeah, I mean, that's where we stand right now.
Awesome. Thanks, Shivam. Franco has a question. Also, the workflow dialer to be able to ring the mobile app or desktop and not the direct phone for VAs working internationally.
Yeah, so that we already sent to the right team. Yeah, same as before. This was asked before.
Cool. Thank you. Timeline for multiple SaaS brands available, and then timeline for more than 3 payment options.
So talking specifically about SaaS, I think credit cards, like basically cards in general, Google Pay, Apple Pay. Apart from that, ACH could be an option, but it's not really good for SaaS to have payments via ACH. They take about 2 to 3 days to settle, and then what happens to the sign-up process in those 2 to 3 days? I think those are some issues that we are grappling with. If you have any insights, feel free to connect with me. I'll just put my email in the chat. And for your other question, when are multiple brands expected? It's still on the roadmap, probably after Level Up. But at Level Up, you will have more than 20 plans. You will have the new SaaS configurator. So all of that would be available, but I cannot commit to brands just yet based upon the timeline. So that's how things look.
We're waiting on the 20 for Level Up.
Yeah, so 20 plans will be available for our SaaS agencies by Level Up.
Awesome. Next question we have is from Don. WordPress updates, having multiple sites, staging URLs, and pushing updates after testing, etc. And then also the ability to suspend WordPress sites.
Yeah. All of those are on the list. All of those are being worked on. Currently, what we are working on is migrating. So we made some critical changes to our infrastructure, and the performance has gone up considerably. Like it is best in class. Like we are benchmarking us against the competition, and the results are really good. So what we are doing is we are going back to all of our old customers and sort of getting them switched over to this new infra, and that is taking a lot of our bandwidth. But all of those items that you mentioned, the staging one is on the list, multiple sites per location is on the list, and being able to basically delete a WordPress instance or block a WordPress instance, those are also on the list. So just give us until the end of this year and all of those should be in place.
I think a lot of those items were even for this quarter, right? They weren't even.
Suspend
Yeah, Ketan,
sites,
go for it.
staging URLs, pushing updates after testing. These are already in development. And then the multiple sites is something that we'll pick up a little after that.
Awesome. Cool. So only multiple sites is after level up. Everything else is before level up. Nice.
Awesome. Another question we have is Razorpay as a payment gateway.
So do you just want it for your clients or do you also want it for SaaS and your own payments and stuff?
Who's not going to say all?
No, because they know that my
both.
answer is going to depend on it. Both. Okay, then it's going to take us a little bit longer. But we are running this down.
Is that Abhit asking that question?
No, it is not.
He's Talkie.
Okay.
Oh, I just wasn't sure that I was going to give that guy high marks. He got marooned, me, and now he's on town hall.
Yeah. No, so I think it is a coordinated effort because when I looked at the ideas list this morning, it was one of the fastest rising ideas on the ideas list.
I
Some
suspect
internal
there's
group
something
somewhere.
going on here. So
There's
for
some
anybody
internal
who
group
doesn't live in
somewhere.
India,
Yeah, and
Razorpay is very popular
interestingly,
there.
yeah, and if this group keeps doing that, it will very soon show up as spam. And guys, this is what happens. Like for those of you who don't know, if you try to create artificial votes or anything like that, the platform basically tells us that the votes on these idea could be spam. So that's what happens. But okay.
Takir, I think just to answer the question, we are running it down. The thing that so if you look at trials worldwide, after the US, Canada, Australia, the UK, and France, India is next on the list of trials. And we are starting to see more and more customers come in from India. So we are running, and with WhatsApp, that opens it up even more. So we are running Razorpay down as a serious option.
Thanks, Vuru.
Next question we have is from Donald. Will High Level Marketplace send back user info by the end of Q3? I have an integration, but there's no way to log in with High Level using the current OAuth system because of the user info endpoint doesn't exist.
Yeah, I think we have this in the roadmap, Donald. Not in Q3, but definitely the next quarter. But I'll look into this. I'll run this down.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one is from Brian. Will the new user make it so the reply only goes to the assigned contact? Currently, me and my agency admins are getting replies.
That might need some explanation.
Yeah.
So I have my account that I use to talk to my customers, and then I have the guy that works with me. He's also an agency admin, so he can go back and forth and do the workflows and whatnot. Well, we both work with customers, and he's agent admin, so he assigned himself to my account. Well, now I sent out a text blast, and then they're replying. And the other day we were standing out having coffee, and he goes, "Man, I'm getting all these replies from all these users, but I'm the one who sent out the blast, and I was assigned to the contact. So now he's all day long, he's getting notified, but he shouldn't be dealing with it." So unless I set it up wrong.
And Sid, isn't it possible to turn the notifications off for conversations for that particular user for that? Yeah.
But he's also a user, so he has his
there
own
is a-
customers.
So maybe, Sid, can you just load up the page and we can go to another question and come back and you can show Brian where you can turn that notification off.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool. I guess, Brian, let him load up the page and we'll just come back to that question.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Next one is from Lee. When someone D&Ds their email and the sub account is using LC Mail, is this for the entire subdomain? And does the D&D get registered at Mailgun too? Lee, are you here?
Yeah. So Lee, just to answer that question, when somebody unsubscribes, like one of your leads unsubscribe, that applies only to that sub account. So it's got nothing to do with the domain. It's got to do with the sub account. So that's point number one. Now, point number two, do we do it on our side or does Mailgun do it? The answer is actually mixed. It depends. For example, in most cases, if they click on the unsubscribe link, it is us. Mailgun is not blocking that contact. We are to protect your sending reputation. But in some cases, if they mark it as spam or if they take certain actions, it counts as a complaint. And when that complaint happens, Mailgun is going to blacklist that particular email for your domain anyway. So there are multiple things that affect this, but in most cases, if they click on unsubscribe, it's going to be high level that does the DND.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Next question we have is from Ben. Any updates on fixing the agency dashboard stripes numbers? They still aren't working for me. And the support said it's broken and GHL is working on it. All the customer numbers work, but the revenue is 0 or blank.
Yeah, so in a small number of cases, we do see this. And Ben, did you transfer any locations out of or into your agency accounts recently?
No, I don't even have the SaaS plan. I just have one sub account and the agency account.
Got it. Okay. You know what? Just give me your relationship number and we'll run this down. So just send me a private message with your relationship number. I'll get this checked out. It is a known issue. It's just that it happens in like less than 1% of the cases. And that's why, it's been dragged for longer than it should be. We'll get that fixed.
Okay. Yeah, I used to work, so.
Cool.
Thanks, Ben. Next
Nico,
question.
I'll just take the screen for a few minutes. Just
Yeah,
a moment.
for sure.
I'll just
Go for it.
So Brian, this is where it is. So basically in the sub account, you go to settings, and if you go to my profile, we have this tab called notifications. Here you see both these are the 3 notifications on the conversation side. So notify for all new conversations and messages initiated with the account, notify when a conversation gets assigned to me, and notify for all the new messages where I'm assigned. So based on that, if you, I think, switch, turn off this one and the first one, I think that will solve the problem.
Okay,
And
I'll look
you
at
can
that and get
turn
back
this
to you.
off for them, but they need to log in and turn it off for themselves, because when you go in here, this is the option for you. When they go there, this is the option for them.
Okay, that looks like it'll do it. Thank you.
So basically what it means is the admin can override the assigned data only, which makes sense because they are the admin, right?
No, this is just for the
I'm the
notification.
main agent. I'm the main agency admin, but then he's also an admin too.
Yeah. No, so that won't matter. They would,
Agency admin, yeah.
it's like the user email signature. It's specific to each person, so they need to log into the page themselves and do it.
Awesome. Cool.
You go take it forward. Yeah.
Awesome. Next one is from Don. The ability to have contacts manage their opt-in/list choices natively. Example given is want notifications, XYZ newsletter, not promos/marketing.
So this is basically the discussion of topics where you can unsubscribe from a topic and not from the entire communication.
Correct.
Got it. We have some idea around it. We have some ideas. You know what? I'm going to give you the email of the person who manages our email system, and just let them know. We already have some thoughts around this. We have an opinion, but just make sure all your use cases are covered. Cool.
Perfect. Next one we have is from Pamela. WordPress 2 GB storage. Will this ever be increased?
Interesting. Did you face any issues when your WordPress size grew more than 2 GB?
No, I have someone who wants to bring over a site, but it's something like 34 gigs already. I'm just wondering if it's ever going to be possible to
34 gigs of disk space.
Yeah.
So do you have any idea why it's so voluminous?
I don't. They're on WP Engine and the costs astronomical, so they just wanted to know.
I mean, it's certainly plausible. Vern, do we have any actual limits here?
Sorry, what are we talking about?
No, the WordPress storage. So here's the thing.
So we have
Pamela.
FUP around this, but what is the problem? That
34 gigabytes. And the reality is, I mean, just for the
well,
record,
you should be able to do it. There will be no issue.
we'll be able to do it just fine. But just so you know, WordPress experts would tell you, unless there's some good reason, we have a catalog for the last 30 years of a gajillion really good reasons. the answer is whatever. She has like massive issues with her site and it's full of garbage junk. 34 gigabytes is just insane, right?
That's
So
right.
unless there's a good reason, there's not a good reason.
So the fair usage policy states that your site needs to be within 2 GB, which is like okay for 99.99% of the sites. We don't enforce it very strictly. I mean, we understand WordPress is still new and many people are taking it for a spin. So we don't enforce it. You can bring in the site at 34 GB. But just to set that expectation, the cost will not always be $10 per site if you go beyond that limit. So if 6 months down the line, 9 months down the line, you see a notification in your app saying that, hey, your site is 34 GB and you need to pay for this additional storage, don't be surprised. But we don't enforce it today.
Any idea what the extra storage would cost?
I mean, almost
Much
nothing. It'll be de minimis.
Yeah,
It'll be
almost-
relative to
it would be
storage costs.
minimal.
Yeah. Relative to storage cost in the world, you have a hard time finding somebody to beat us. But the bigger issue with most of these WordPress installs that are a lot big like this, the bigness isn't so much a money problem. It's also just tends to be like a slowness problem, a performance problem. Like, you know, it's like there's something wrong. So just for her own efficacy, like you should really help her try to slim that down.
Absolutely, I will.
You know what I mean? Just so that she has a better experience with her business. But as far as paying us for, you know, storage costs, I mean, I mean, I don't know. It'll be almost as cheap as it gets.
Could it be that she
Much
has a
cheaper than
folder?
WP Engine.
Could she have like a folder with videos and stuff in it that's just still on that hard drive, but it's not really part of the site?
Yeah, exactly. She just
Yeah.
needs somebody to go through it and look.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we-
probably
into
something like
These instances and all these instances, we just get people who had some WordPress site that's just been hauled through 10 years of history, and they just pick up garbage along the way, and they have 5,000 plugins, and people are like, well, what's this one for? And like, I have no idea, because they don't remember when it got, and so most of the time it's just skinnying that stuff down.
For sure, we can do that. The biggest question was, we're going to be over 2, and I thought that was a hard limit, so.
You'll be fine. No. Bring it
No,
over.
you'll be fine.
Yeah,
She's on-
just let us know when you try to import it, because that'll most probably fail auto imports. So we have to do it from the backend.
Okay, okay, I'll let her know. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pamela. Next question we have is from Glenn. Can I attach a contact to more than one copy? And he also asks, any plans to establish a headquarters within a group of locations to manage a franchise? And can we attach 2 companies together? This happens when one company buys another.
I mean,
Yeah, so
Rudy,
the
you wanna take
first,
that? Yeah.
the first
I
question
hate
was
to-
attach a contact to more than one company.
I mean, we got that. I mean, the short answer is, I hate to do this to you, Glenn, but I mean, the short answer is no, no, and no, because I mean, nobody asked for it. But again, like, how do we make this decision? Maybe throw it on the ideas board. If enough agencies want it, we will build it.
Yeah, I mean, just the nature of what I'm dealing with are B2B franchise type companies, so there's a home headquarters and then there's multiple branches. There's a regional manager who may be associated with 5 branches that he manages. Another regional manager deals another. It's been some of the obstacles that
the number of people who are using companies today in the CRM is already very low. Like, most people don't need companies, right? And then on top of that, it doesn't even feature on the ideas board. Like, so the problem is, if I go to my product manager and say, hey, you need to pick this item because it comes from Glenn, who is a long-term customer and he is an awesome person. The question to that is going to be, but what do I do with these ideas that have like 300 votes on it? Like, what's the rationale here? So I think we created the ideas list to just be accountable internally. And I mean, just throw it over there. If enough people want it, we'll build it.
Yeah, and that's been the challenge, because I'm one of probably, like you're saying, a few who are in the B2B space and my customers don't serve end user consumers, they serve other businesses. So it's just a whole nother set of, level of hierarchy to manage that I realize most of you customers don't have, but
You know what you should do, Glenn? Now that we have marketplace APIs, you should build on top of us. And maybe there's a sizable minority of agencies that do this kind of work with B2B CRM. And you should sell, obviously, your own service that you do today, and probably the solution as well. I mean, how does that sound?
Well, I don't want to be, I didn't want to be in that business. That wasn't the intention
Got
of the
it.
business I wanted to be in. But yeah, I know it's a challenge, and I know we've been going through this for a long time. You know, it's just that ability is, I'm dealing with, my customers are usually on Salesforce, you know, some are on HubSpot, but it's not a money thing. It's a functionality thing, you know. It's like, I don't care that it's cheap. They don't care. They just need the functionality. They're $50 million businesses, you know, it's not an issue about that. So,
Got it.
all right. Yeah. I mean, I don't
Thanks,
know how to
Glenn.
go. Okay. I'm sorry, one last thing. You guys mentioned, I wrote one down, it came in after the fact. You mentioned about going to 20 SaaS plans, right? After the level up. So would that give you the ability to sell more than one SaaS plan, almost like a shopping cart type of environment? Because I'm trying to break things down where I'm selling some marketing services where they don't have even access to the CRM. But then if they are a company that wants to deploy a CRM, they can just buy the CRM with the calendaring and all the features that it has, right?
Got it.
So
So
they'd be
you can
different kind
already
of
do
plans.
it.
Okay.
So that's not what this release is for, but you can already do it. Like, so just create two products. One is for your service, one is for your subscription, the SaaS subscription, and put them on a funnel. If they buy both, they get the account. If they don't buy both, they don't get the account. So you can do it today, like
Okay.
as of now. What the 20 plans is for is, some agencies are like, hey, I have my low, medium, high kind of a pricing, but then I also have an affiliate, and I just, you know, I was able to infiltrate that community, and I want to do like a promo for them. So I don't want to change my original pricing. I want to create 2 new prices. And then within a few months, we are in Black Friday, Cyber Monday kind of a season. They want to do something special. So we want to build that flexibility where you can have up to like 5 different pricing strategies, 3 plans each, and you're going to have like, you know, like 15 prices total. And that's why we just said, hey, let's allow 20 SaaS plans to give you more flexibility. It is in no way related to your services. You can sell that even today.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Glenn. We did reach the point of 12:30, so we're going to do a little sprint on the last few questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. So we're just going to speed things up for a little bit. Heidi has a question. Is there going to be any options to warm up email in Lead Connector?
Yes, we will allow you to create an SMTP user. You can use any third party to basically warm up your domain. Next.
Beautiful. Cameron, calendars, schedule links. Are we able to generate one-time use links? If not, can we get the option added? Purpose: to prevent someone from scheduling a time in the future from a link they received in the past.
Ideas list. Did I get
Boom.
that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, moving on.
The ideas list, please.
ETA on equipment booking.
Abhishek, that's you, man.
Abhishek,
This is
ETA
speed
on
round.
equipment booking.
Well, we don't have this. Plan
Quarter,
yet,
man. Just route a quarter.
Yeah. Q4, end of Q4. Cool.
Q4. Yeah.
Q4.
Awesome.
Boom, moving on.
ETA on GBP.
What the heck is that?
I've asked for the
Business
question.
profile.
I think
Okay,
Google
multiple,
Stats
it's this
presentation.
quarter.
Yeah,
We
it's
have
this quarter.
GBP. What's
No,
the
no, so
question?
this is the
Multiple GBP
ability
this quarter.
to connect multiple pages to the same
Got
account.
it. Thank you.
Boom. Jenna asked, what about an update to the reputation management?
Yes, they are happening. And I think a release just went out today where the entire UI is changed for all the review modules. Please just refresh the
Today,
page and check.
boom. Haven't launched the video
Boom.
yet. But
That got
was a
released
very
today?
that was a very open-ended question that had lacked specificity, so it was very easy to
Okay,
answer.
well, let me specify it.
There we go.
Back last year, you guys released like some of the Figmas for the reputation management update. And so
Yes.
I'm really excited for that. I want to drop my last software. So I'm very excited about it. But so this is what got released today?
But
No,
that,
so
that,
what
still
is
lacks
missing?
that question still lacks specificity. It's like, hey, remember
Okay,
those Figma
okay, okay.
last year? No, what specifically? Like a graph, a chart, a
So-
feature? No.
Yes, I would like it all. So the reporting functionality for reviews, like how many got sent out, but the social sharing, which I saw Pooja replied to that, but then also the replies back that you mentioned just a while back.
You know what?
To
So
the
just
Review response. Yeah.
yeah. So in the interest of time, there is work being
Oh,
done
that's
on
good.
review
See,
responses, review
thank you.
AI.
That helps. So
What?
go for it. T-Bomb?
Yeah, so all of that is being worked on, and I just sent you the email of the product manager who's doing all of that. So all the Figmas that we showed you last year, they are in development as we speak. What exactly will go out first and what is to be expected in the next 3 months, just connect with this person and they'll guide you with the specifics, like what features will go out on what, like in what months. So they
Okay,
can help you with
appreciate it.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jenna. Next question we have is from Francis. What is the timeline for VAT support in order forms?
Supporting VAT in order forms. We don't have Prashant here.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we're large enough that we don't have every answer here, and the team that handles this isn't here today. So we can run that down. So if you can throw your email in, Shivam can send a
Well,
note.
actually,
And
yeah, I was gonna say, or you could just throw their email in. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'd
I'm
rather
just going
do.
to give you the email of the product
Perfect.
manager.
Love it.
And here it goes. Yeah.
Next question.
Next one is from Stephanie. Is the membership feature SCORM compliant? Got this question from a client, not sure what the compliance requires. And then she also posted a link.
Yeah, so basically SCORM means you are able to sort of export the particular course in a particular format and it can be readily imported elsewhere, all of that.
No.
But no, I mean,
It's
that is
not,
what SCORM
right?
means,
No,
right?
you're right. No, but it's not SCORM compliant, right?
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Question answered. Moving
Okay,
on.
awesome.
What's the
I got
timeline for estimates and proposals?
Varun.
So they're running down the last few items. I think a week or so, and it should be out.
Okay, but hold on. Varun, so remember yesterday or the day before, you walked me through the whole signature requirement thingy. Can you explain to this group that requirement?
So I think the piece that we're spending time on, and the reason it's taking slightly longer, is we want to make sure that when someone signs this document, it can hold up in court. And we took a deeper look at, how other platforms do it, what the requirement is, what data we need to capture. And there's a bunch of them. We need to capture the email address of the person that the link was sent to, and the link needs to be unique for each person receiving it. So when they open it, we start recording the time they received it, the time they opened it, the time they signed it. We need to store the IP address, their time zone, the actual signature for all of the people that sign a document, create a certificate out of it, and then sign that whole document to prove that the document wasn't modified after. And this is the simple flow. This is SES, or the simplest version of document signing that we can do. And then there's some more advanced flows that require public-private key pairs and stuff. So we're really ironing out those final details to make sure that this is rock solid. So when we say that you can get contracts signed here, we know that it will hold up in court. So
That is what's
really
coming out in the next 2 weeks, right, Varun?
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
I just wanted to explain, because that to me is really phenomenal. So when this product comes out, it will stand up to the same test that other apps do. And unlike the version in my mind, which seems simple, like just write down the IP address or something, it's a radically harder lift than that. But the team is going to actually knock that out and make it happen. So for those of you who are waiting for this, that's great news, because you'll actually be able to replace DocuSign when this comes out.
Amazing. Raymond has a question. Will we be able to connect our own Google Drive to GHL at some point? We would like to allow end users to upload large files.
So we'll solve it without the need.
We just covered that, right? In the presentation?
Asking for something specific, like he wants to send large files. I mean, if you don't want to upload them, so we are building a solution that will let you upload large files. That is being done. But even then, if you don't want to use it, upload it on Google Drive, copy the link and send it as an SMS or email or whatever. So both options will be available to you, but we are not building a native integration as of yet. Ideas board.
Awesome. Okay, and we're going to finish it up with the last two here. Timeline on community upgrades.
I think
the
did they
private
say this
groups
coming out this week? Shiva?
Yeah, they did. Yes. So private groups will roll out this week. And from there, it's basically just one item at a time. Courses will start showing up, offers will start showing up, promo pages will start showing up, like you can set custom links and stuff. So all of that will start one by one. But the big release is private groups end of this week. Next.
Okay. And then for the last question, we're going to do ETA for scoring email blasts before being sent.
So this is the one that Karthikeyan was working on, right? Taking the entire list. Is this to score the list or the email?
The email. So before they do a blast, we're gonna, let them know, hey, this is going to be spam. Sean talked about this quite a while ago.
Yeah, so it's not going to be at the time of the blast. It's going to be at the time of the import. So when you import a list, let's say
we're talking about the email verification.
No. So this is the actual email itself, Shivam.
Yeah.
Email is
like
built.
this.
Oh, the content.
Right. The score on the content. Yeah.
Just ask. Yeah, we'll just ask ChatGPT. Does this email look like spam? And then we'll tell you.
Yeah.
No. So we have a better way to do this. So I think there's a couple of solutions that Karthikeyan's working on, much better than Sean's recommended approach. But we don't have the timeline on that. We'll put that down.
Thank goodness the dev team's not run by Sean's good ideas.
Awesome. Guys, well, thank you so much. That is going to be it for the August town hall. Sean, do you have anything to say? I thought I heard you.
So so for anybody who doesn't want to hang around and listen to me, feel free to leave. But communities, just in general, I hope all of you have seen those as from a brand new big feature release perspective. That is something that I think is huge. Obviously, there's private communities are coming out, this and that. But if you haven't seen it as a tactic or a technique, start looking at it and start understanding it and start Googling it and studying it, because I think I've been getting all these emails now. People are using it like a lead magnet. Hey, join my free group. And they're using it to see if they can get people to sign up. So that's something I would highly recommend. It also is becoming another monetization path a lot, particularly for like course creators, influencers, I don't know, whatever. I've seen people start to use it as, hey, here's my paid group if you want to use that. Even brands are using it. So I saw like a women's clothing brand uses it. So I think, again, as a tactic, I hope as marketers, we're starting to think about how communities work their way into our lives, because I do think there's a lot of applicability. Now, I think that'll cut both ways. I don't think the local plumber is going to have a hot running community, so don't waste your time. So make sure you're only using it with the right people. But I do think it's a really great marketing tactic. So that's that. The other big thing I'm excited about is Tap to Pay. So if you haven't seen the video on Tap to Pay, check it out. I think our goal here, our mission long term, is to replace the Squares of the world, the House Call Pros of the world, the Jobbers of the world. So we're moving in that direction, and I think collecting money is the first way to do that. So I think I'm pretty excited about that feature as well. So I just wanted to tell you what I think is coming up that I think is awesome. I mean, there's lots of other amazing things as well, don't worry, but those two things are things I want people thinking about, because again, I think these are ways for us really as a company. What we're really starting to do is we started with the front door, and we about crushed it. I mean, there's not much in the front door we don't own. And now it's about moving to the back of house and starting to work hard on operations. Because again, the more we can do for our customers, the stickier we are. And particularly as we get into the payment cycle, I think the payment cycle is another key place there. And this is where Tap to Pay, estimates and proposals, you'll see a QuickBooks Online integration. That's where all of these things are moving holistically. So we can be kind of that end-to-end, both marketing, communications, but also now operations and primarily payment system for our customers. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. And everyone, thank you guys so much.
Stephanie, Communities is live, so don't even say party when it goes live, because it is live.
It's not live on the main site. It's only live in beta.
Wait, hold on. Is that true?
Yep.
Yeah, probably you need to go to labs and turn that on.
I can't use beta and I can't use labs.
No, I'm with you. I feel that. Hold on. Is it not an app.go high level as a labs feature?
I'm just trying to check that right now. Yeah, Communities is a labs feature. You need to go to the location and turn on labs.
So it is on app.gohighlevel.com. It is on labs. You just turn it on in labs.
I can't turn on labs.
Why?
Just share your screen.
I can't use beta because of other customizations going on.
Let's definitely share your screen. Let's figure this out. Yeah.
I've been on your support team, and this is what they told me.
I know, but you know, we're on the company, so we might know better.
So when I come,
especially with Varun here.
Yeah, so now just scroll down. No, not in the company. Scroll all the way down in the left menu. In the left menu, all the way down. All the way down.
No, but I don't have. I can't turn this
You
on.
need to switch into an account right now.
There we go.
Yeah, you're at the agency level. That's why. So just go inside the location.
Go up to the switcher and switch into a location.
Switch into an account, yeah.
Varun,
Yeah, she's doing it. She's doing it. Give her a second. Now go to
Varun, can
settings
we have
here.
like an
So we
Now
have
go to
two
labs
labs.
in
We
here.
have the agency labs and we have the location labs.
Okay, so this is her problem, right? So she can't, where are
Yeah.
labs?
It wasn't
have
turned
to
on for beta
It's custom
features.
code.
in
Can we
agency.
try?
If you
It
go
is
to
custom code.
agency,
So what I'm going to do is just type labs where it says company in your URL, just type labs.
Up at the top
So-
in the URL.
Yeah. Looks like an issue with the custom code.
Yeah, your CSS is hiding it.
I know that, which is why I
Yeah.
need it to go live, not
Yeah.
beta live.
So just scroll down, scroll down. Just
No,
yeah.
that's terrible. What you need to do is call whoever wrote your CSS and tell them to do a better job.
Yeah, just keep scrolling down. You'll find communities there. Yeah.
I wonder if I can do it here though with
You
your
can.
little background.
Yeah. So cool. Awesome. Now you have communities. So now if you go to membership, just click on membership and memberships have two parts.
Oh, this is the best town hall I've ever
See?
been on.
I told you.
Yes.
I promise I'm mouthy for a reason. All right.
Thank you
Anybody,
so
anybody
much,
else
guys.
have problem
I
with
do have
that?
a
If
quick,
not,
I
Patty,
do
the-
have a quick question about communities.
Yes, sir.
So I have.
I'm going
a
to answer
situa-
your question only because your reactions on your video in real time are.
I
are
appreciate
awesome.
that. I
That is
appreciate that.
If anybody
Um, so,
catch Charles's like smileys and blow up heads and stuff, they're cool.
so I have a community in my agency sub account that I was the admin when I first created it. Something updated and I'm no longer the admin. I'm not an owner. I am just a member. I had a ticket going. They said it couldn't be fixed. It
No, just
was
give me the ticket and
supposedly
we'll fix it.
escalated to dev.
That's
and they said,
I like that.
we can't
I like
add
that.
you.
I
And
like
I'm
that
like,
reply. Cannot be fixed. Close.
yeah, I'm like, how can you not add me as the owner of my own community in my agency sub account?
Yeah, just give me the
I
ticket
mean-
number. We'll get it fixed.
All right, I'm gonna hold on.
Who
And
you
we
know,
need to make sure
Charles.
we don't kill the call. So I guess Shivam confirm that you get the ticket number and then we can close the call.
Yeah.
Yep. Give me one second.
Varun, quick question. Can we have like an option to access the phone book within the phone while uploading the contact on the LCD?
Oh, got
app?
it. I get what you're saying. I don't know. I feel like we've seen this in the past, but Shivam, maybe you can pass that on to Nilishish.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
uploading
will.
contacts.
Yeah, upload the
Yeah.
local. Well, actually, is there a way to just access them, not upload them?
No, there is, but that's what he's asking. He's like, hey, can I just pick the contacts on my phone and bring them into the CRM instead of having to
Oh,
type
I
them?
see. I see. It is an import. Got it.
What are we going to see at the Level Up Summit?
That's a surprise. Good try. I mean, what you're going to see is you're going to see amazing, awesome, incredible, blow you out of your seat kind of things.
Right.
You're going to see. I mean, one thing you're going to see is some amazing success. I got a number today of the amount of SaaS revenue that we're collecting, and I scarce could believe my mind. And what I meant by us collecting, it's not us, it's agencies collecting. We are fast running on my $10 billion company goal. I'm excited. 9 billion collected for SaaS agencies that a year. That is my goal. We're not quite there yet, but we're moving in that direction.
Very exciting. I was kind of queuing you up to see if you would push the Level Up Summit to make sure everyone here has a ticket.
Oh, thank you. See, I'm a terrible marketer and salesperson, so you should just be more direct. I hope everyone got their tickets.
VIP is already sold out.
Oh, I know. It's good. This event is going to be incredible. I mean, we learned so much from last year on what went well and what didn't. And I think we've been able to just keep the great stuff and drop there wasn't really anything that was terrible, but just really, really double down on what was good. And I'm pretty pumped up about it. I think it's going to be a great year, great event.
High level salesperson here. VIP.
We don't have salespeople, but yes.
Well, director of account management. But anyway,
There you go.
We will be selling out of VIP tickets. We anticipate
But
probably.
we already did. We sent an email. Done.
Oh, we
gone.
Oh, well.
I was told. It's
It's
oh
a
wait,
lot.
it says warning. It says warning close to selling out.
Yeah, and we anticipate that it will sell out this weekend. So if you haven't done so already, I 100% urge you to get that done today because it will sell out and you'll be sorry.
I don't want to be sorry. I'm always sad when I'm sorry. I'll tell you that. All right, we got
Mom,
to take
did
it.
you get those 2 ticket numbers?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
All right. One, I think is associated. The second one, I think, is associated with, it's a combination of a database lookup issue between the affiliate manager and the communities database.
Yes, and we'll fix both of those.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm gonna go drop some crazy videos. I'll talk to
Thanks,
you folks
Sean.
later.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Everybody, enjoy your day. Thanks for coming. Later, everyone.